Hi and welcome to the Simple Living channel. My name's Lori and today we're going to be making my Great Grandma's shortbread. Once you taste it, you'll agree it's the only shortbread recipe you'll ever use. So let's get started. There are 4 main ingredients to the cookies: half a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of butter, half a cup of cornstarch, and 1.5 cups of flour. You can also add some optional toppings such as maraschino cherries, nuts, or chocolate chips, depending on what you like. The first thing that you should do is preheat your oven to 325. And while that's preheating, if you are going to be putting some maraschino cherries on them, you should spend a few minutes and chop those up into fine pieces. Each cherry probably you could chop into 6 or 7 pieces. You don't want them too big, just a little piece for a decoration. And then you can get on to the mixing. So let's get started with that. The butter should be at room temperature, so if you know you're going to be making these, you should leave the butter out overnight and let it get nice and soft. The first thing you will do will be to mix the brown sugar and the butter together. You could use a hand mixer if you like. I've never done that. I always just do it by hand here. So it takes a few minutes to mix it together, and you want to make sure if there's any lumps in your brown sugar that you take the time to crush those out. I think my brown sugar today is pretty good, but you can see because the butter is nice and soft here, everything is blending quite quickly, so it doesn't take too long. You just want to make sure that you get it all mixed in well. Now the key to this recipe is that you don't over mix it once you get the flour in. And I'm going to use my spatula here to just make sure that I have all the ingredients mixed evenly. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add in the cornstarch next, and again it's half a cup of cornstarch. And I think this is one of the secret ingredients that makes these cookies so good. Combined along with having a cup of butter, it really makes the cookies have a unique taste. So you just take a couple of minutes here, and have to be careful with the cornstarch. It seems to want to splatter quite easily. So you just, see, there it goes. Just need to be careful when you're mixing the cornstarch, otherwise it will get all over the place. Okay, so once you get that mixed in, then the last ingredient to add is 1.5 cups of flour. Let me tell you a little bit about my great grandma, where this recipe came from. This recipe has been in our family for many years. My great grandma is from England, and she was born in 1873, and we recently found out that she arrived in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in 1883. She came over on a ship called the Preheat, and she arrived on September 29th, 1883, so that puts her at about 10.5 years old. She came over by herself, and our understanding is that she came over to be a nanny. It was quite a thing for these young people whose parents maybe couldn't afford to take care of all their kids, so they would send them over to at least Canada that I know of, and then they would be basically farmed out to different people who wanted to hire somebody as a nanny. So and I don't think she got married till late in her 20s, so she could have been a nanny for many years. So I don't know whether this recipe came from England or whether she, got it from the people that she worked for or not. But to think of that, somebody at 10 years old being sent across the ocean on their own to, maybe never know if they'd ever see their family again. That's quite something. So, all right, so I've got all of the flour mixed in from what I can tell. Maybe a little bit at the bottom here. Let's just give it another little, there's a little bit of flour on the bottom, so just make sure I get that all mixed in. And then you can see that it's just kind of a little bit crumbly. That's okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the dough and we are going to put it onto our cookie sheet so that we can get it in the oven. Next, you'll need to take a cookie sheet, and if it is not a non-stick cookie sheet, then you'll need to lightly grease it with some non-stick spray or perhaps a little bit of butter. You just rub over top of it. You don't want the cookies to stick. These ones are copper cookie sheets, and you don't need to put any spray or anything on them. So then what you do is get a little teaspoon and just take, make sure your hands are washed, and then just take a little bit and you're going to roll it in your hand and then put it on the cookie sheet. And you don't want to make these too big. You can make a lot if you just keep them really tiny. So this is probably, I don't know, not even an inch. You can see there, it's just a tiny, tiny little ball. And then you're going to spread them out on the cookie sheet. Now this will take a little bit of time to do this. So this is another reason you don't want to overmix these, because now you're handling the dough again. So you don't, you don't want to stir it up too much. Okay. So usually what I'll do is I'll make one tray and, put that in the oven and see how much they are spreading out. If I find they're spreading out too much, then I might make the dough balls a little bit smaller, and as well make sure there's enough room in between the cookies here so that they don't start melting into each other. Okay, so we'll just take a few minutes to do that. Okay, so the next thing that you do is to take a fork and gently press down a couple times just to make the fork mark in there. You could leave them without pressing them down, but I like to bake the first cookie sheet and see how much they're going to spread out. And then the next step is to take the little pieces of your maraschino cherry and to put them on top, or your chocolate chips or whatever you've got. And you can see, I've cut these pieces up quite small, and it's all you need. It's just adding a little bit of decorative touch to them. Some of these pieces of cherry actually are a little too big. Okay, I'm going to add some chocolate chips to a few of them and see how those look when they come out. And I would just put one in the center. You don't want to add too much because you don't want to really destroy the flavor of the cookie itself. And then that's all ready to go in the oven. We'll put it in the bottom shelf of the oven, and we're going to watch this very, very closely, because you don't want these really to get brown at all. They can get tiny, tiny bit around the edge, but I would say we're going to let these cook for about 5 minutes, and then we'll check them and then probably move them up to the top shelf. And if you're happy with them at that point, then you could start and make the other tray and then get it in for baking as well. It's been 5 minutes, so let's take a look. Oh, those are spreading out nice. I don't see them browning at all. I'm just going to touch one of them. They're still pretty soft, so I'm going to give them maybe another 3 or 4 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Okay, so the cookies have been in there for about another 5 minutes, and I see they're getting a little bit brownish around the edges. So it's time to move them up to the top. Let's see how, yep, they're getting a little firmer, so I'm only going to leave them in there for a minute or so. All right, I've got my next cookie sheet ready to put in. So let's get that in the oven. And the top cookies are ready to come out. So there they are. You can see that they spread out nicely. Maybe cook these a slight bit too much. It's hard to tell, but they look like they're going to be delicious. We'll let them cool for a few minutes, and then I'll put them on a cooling rack. But you can see they spread out really nice, and the cherries look really pretty on them, and the chocolate chips are nice too. There's one that I mushed up with my oven mitts, so I guess that'll be one that I'll have to test. But that's it. This recipe ended up making 47 little shortbread cookies, which is awesome. I'm going to take most of them and put them in an airtight container and put them in the freezer. They'll last for several weeks as long as they're sealed properly. And I guess it's time to give them a taste test. It just melts in your mouth. They're delicious. Did I tell you that shortbread are my all-time favorite cookie? I've just loved these forever. I hope you do too. And I'd really like to hear from you and tell me what you think of this recipe. You've been listening to the Simple Living channel. My name is Lori, and if you like this video, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up, and if you like my videos, you'll consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. So have a great day, everybody, and enjoy your shortbread. Yummy. Bye-bye.